0. Taking a look then at what that means at the top of the table for Chelsea. They sit 4th. Of course, Arsenal in action on Wednesday when they can go 4 points clear of their London rivals. And as I mentioned, that win for Newcastle takes them up to 5th in the table.
Forest finished the year in 2nd.
There we go. Yeah, it does indeed. That's true. What's going on?
Well, good question. I mean, it just seems to have gone a bit flat for them. He's made some changes and it hasn't worked. Then we've seen mistakes there from DCC. He took Jackson out the firing line. And he's been in great form. That didn't work. I think they're regressing back to kind of where I think generally where they are, which is I think going to be a bit behind Arsenal and Liverpool eventually. So yeah, I mean, I suppose from Chelsea fans' perspective, maybe there was a hope that they could just continue this run, but and maybe they'll pick it up and go again. I don't know, but this is it's an Ipswich side that fights hard. It's well organised. It only narrowly lost to Arsenal at the weekend. It sort of hung in there. Ipswich hung in, looking for an equaliser at Arsenal. Got Liam Delap up front. It was a handful. Made himself a nuisance to the centre halves. So I think just some food for thought for Enzo Maresca in terms of all right. Everybody's talking about us about how good we've been, but we need to pick it up and go again second half of the season. And it's just been a little flat in the last 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they played badly today. They had a lot of chances in that first half. There was a lot of good combination play. You could see what they're good at, but they didn't defend well today. One centre forward in Liam Delap, kept on causing them problems, chasing them down. Hutchinson on the right-hand side went to close down Cucurella on several occasions and won the ball back. There was just a lack of final or end product from Chelsea. And then they lost confidence in the second half. They lost belief.
The second half was a little bit like Fulham, I thought. There was a bit one-dimensional. They kind of ran out of ideas.
They lost belief. They couldn't find the way. Made substitutions. They brought Jackson on as soon as they went 2-0 down. The killer goal was the one just after half-time. He's probably gone out and said, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. Sassy makes the mistake and then doesn't close down well enough. They go 2-0 down and they didn't react well enough to it.
Where do you stand on the penalty, Craig? The Delap penalty?
It's the second contact, I think, because there was some contact there. Now, you could argue, was Delap going to get to the ball and blah, blah, blah. I don't think he was. But there was contact, and I'm OK with the penalty kick. He's a dream for me in a team that, and he might be better than a team that's fighting relegation, Liam Delap. But he's a dream when you're struggling and you need somebody to just either hold the ball up or make it horrible 90-odd minutes for
Maresca, who coached him at Man City. Coached him at Man City. Said
another one that City let go.
He could be the next England centre forward. He spoke about him really highly going into this game, and he found out about him again.
What you don't want is, and Chelsea, like a lot of teams, love to play out from the back. What you don't want is 2 centre halves who are having a field day. Christmas and New Year. This is easy. You can get on the ball. He's the type of player up front for your club that he's going to make sure that those 2 centre halves wish they never saw him again. Right. Because he's just making it, and he's big, physically strong guy as well, and he's a good player. But that desire to go and work that whole back four and not give anybody any time in the ball is absolutely brilliant skill set to have, particularly for a team that's fighting for their lives.
On yesterday's show, we were discussing top 4, and I said, look, it's Liverpool, Arsenal, it's Chelsea, and another. Has that conversation changed because of what we've seen from Chelsea over recent weeks?
Yeah, I think so. And I think also the fact that Newcastle have picked up, of course, we're expecting City to at least do something. And the others that we thought might have been around there, I think Villa are kind of spluttering a little bit. They've obviously got Europe, Champions League this season. So I think so. I don't see any reason why, if they don't get a big glut of injuries, why Newcastle can't push to be in that top 4 again. I know they were in the Champions League and the season before, and it kind of affected them a little bit. The league form, they got a lot of injuries. The league form wasn't great. Obviously, they don't have that this year. But I think they can push again for the top 4. I think they've got a viable chance to get there, and I think Chelsea, there is some vulnerability about it. I do think, obviously, it'll be Liverpool and Arsenal. And then I think there is a 3 or 4 team fight, you could say, for those.
Forest have got house money to play with, haven't they? You know.
But you wouldn't fancy any of those teams to have a 10-game winning run at the moment. You know,
Well, no, if you look at Chelsea, look who you've dropped points against. Everton, Fulham and Ipswich. You get 1 point out of possible 9. It's not as if you've had a tough run.
So there's the vulnerability. You know?
Yeah.
So none of these sides you're going to say, right, I can see them beating them and they're going to beat those and they're going to have a 10-game winning run and they're going to confirm themselves in the top 4. All of them can struggle at some point. Man City, we know at the moment, are struggling. They got the win yesterday, but can you guarantee they're going to have one of those runs?
No.
I don't think so.
Newcastle looking bright. They haven't got Europe,
bright,
obviously.
Yeah, and some of their players are playing well at the moment and they look fresh and he's got the zip and the intensity back again. And of course, Nottingham Forest. We don't believe they're going to stay in the top 4, but at the moment, they're playing good football when they've got those players that can play on the counter-attack.
And of course, the others, I suppose there's an amount of pressure on the others to be either challenging or in the top 4 from a financial aspect and also the size of the clubs. From Nottingham Forest, it's like, hey, this is fantastic. I mean, nobody expected it, so there's not really a pressure for them to stay in there. If they fall away, it's kind of expected, and if they don't, then it's a huge bonus. But I tell you what, Arne Slot, not taking anything away from him, but he has landed. You talk about timing.
Oh,
You have to say that as well. The team are brilliant. There's no doubt about it. The job he's done thus far is fantastic. I haven't seen a team slicker in the whole of Europe in the last month or so than Liverpool. But timing's a wonderful thing, because with Man City falling away and Arsenal having these injuries, it is literally the perfect storm for him. Whereas previously when Klopp was there, I mean, he was fighting this Man City juggernaut, wasn't he? So I think Liverpool need to make hay while the sun shines, and they're certainly doing that.